Welcome back, everybody. This is Alisha Brashe from Cosmic Gateway. Once again, Donovan, my soul brother, we're here. Thank you for being here. This is officially episode 4 of Ascension and Disclosure Bridging the Gap. I can't believe we're at episode 4. It seems like yesterday the idea came in and I was like, hey, let's do this. So, we're going to flow with this one. This could go any which way, any direction. There is so much happening. August has been a hot month. We're not finished yet. So from what I feel, this is going to be a continue on. We're going to begin to continue on from a podcast that I did with Jen from Infused with Light and Anna from Betrayer. And we did a podcast. If you haven't listened to it, I highly recommend. I did upload it to my YouTube channel. It's the Picture of the Heart. And the topic, we covered so many things, but basically it was around compassion, forgiveness, and evolving relationships. And we covered everything from divine partnership to like current world events and how to apply these principles. And this is quite good because we're going to kind of follow on from that and going to get your perspective, Donovan, obviously from what happens when you're the red pillar or the truth seeker in your family or your community or your group of friends, and how to deal with that, because that's a hard path, and more people are finding that, especially in this year and in this time. So Donovan, just go with it. I'll hand it over to you.
Well, it's funny, and thank you for having me again. Hi, everyone. So grateful. You were talking in the interview with Jen about the bridging, right? And this being bridging the gap.
Yes.
Through disclosure, ascension, and bringing all that together. It just occurred to me how much there's this weird thing I have, right? When I see road workers, I love them. I absolutely love watching dudes doing road work. Not just dudes, chicks too, right? There's more lollipop girls than there used to be, right? But
yeah.
Ever been stuck in traffic where you got to stop and wait for the roadworks and you see the way they've all got their little job to play, but what they're building for us is this amazing thing. Have you ever driven along, this is just coming through now, by the way, driven along a brand new piece of road and you're like, oh man, this feels beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've been going the same through that area during the roadworks, and it's like stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, right? And it's months, and you're watching all these little people doing, so one guy's doing the gutters and the drains, and the other guys are doing the line marking, and the other guys are laying the asphalt, and the other guys are grinding up the old road to make way for the new road, And it's just occurring to me now how this is a great metaphor for the path.
Yeah, I can see where you're going. This is great.
Right. But and then the other thing, and then you end up with this thing that over time, once the road's open, the brand new road, it's kind of like, oh yeah, you forget like how much work went into it.
Mm-hmm.
And almost like, it's like every level we go up in our journey, we can forget just how much we went through to get to the beauty of the other side of it. But then once it's that beautiful new road's there and you drive it all the time, you kind of almost take it for granted, right? Because it's the new norm. It's like, yeah, got this nice new freeway and I don't have to stop and start anymore. I can just cruise. Yeah. And when you're on cruise control, sometimes you're not aware of just all that you've been through to get to that point. Yeah, I think and I think everyone understands what I'm saying. But the other thing, it's like when you ever watch a bridge being built, it is the most epic thing to watch those two pillars either side and all the scaffolding and stuff they got to put up to prop it up as this bridge starts coming in closer together until it finally touches. And it's like, it always makes me think too, like there's this bridge that was built, this really big famous bridge. I can't remember, it might have been in China, funnily enough, where they built the bridge, and it was just off a few millimeters at the beginning, but by the time it met, it was completely missing, right? So if you're out by like a quarter of a millimeter on one side when you start building the bridge, by the time you get to the middle where you've got to meet that bridge up, it's like it's not even connected, you know.
So much precision, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like the journey, right? You've got to make sure if you're going to come together and unify, you've got to find that alignment.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise you can't build bridges, you can't build the bridge.
The rainbow. Oh God, I could go off on tangents about the bridge, but yeah, totally. Isn't that interesting that tees up with some messages that have been coming through sessions lately about the precision in how everything is unfolding, and it has to be so like pinpoint precision struck, like in the laying of the new foundations of the new road, or the bridge. So.
Exactly. And it's a bit like we talk about on the disclosure side with the plan unfolding, and a lot of people in that, that disclosure side going, okay, there's a plan, and a lot of people getting really, really impatient because they're like, come on, when's it happening? When's it happening? Just make it happen, And there's all these parts to it, like, indictments, arrests, and exposure of information, and, the saving of the children, and all, and like the full truth coming out, what we believe needs to come out. It's like, well, the first thing is it brings up in us, how do we deal with patience, and it's such a long, slow journey, and we've got to ride the wave as it comes. But it's like, the plan has to be unfolded in a particular way because it's such a big shift of the way things are happening on this planet. It has to be absolutely every right step at the right moment. Otherwise, as far as we understand, that plan will fall apart.
Yeah, and it can't. It just can't.
No, it can't. No, we won't accept that.
No, we won't.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a really interesting metaphor that just came through. But what's been coming up in your sessions, like, and dreams this week, like?
Well, I will share this. I don't know if I've shared this. Oh God, my memory! I swear, I'm so moment to moment at the moment. It's beautiful, but I literally get blank slated. It's like, it's gone. I did have. Look, I feel like I'm clearing another level on the astral once again, and there has been more dreams about like the children in the tunnels and the light that's clearing through that. I did have a very specific message that came through about connections that I have with people across the world. So it was like I think I posted about it. It was like Melbourne, New York, the connections, and how it's blasting light and it's creating the grid. So we talk about the 5D grid and the energy structure. But I don't think it's limited to those locations, because like on the way to record this, I was getting this download and I was like, no guys, not now. I'm like racing to get to meet to record for you. But basically the nature of it was the strengthening of the grid, and how strong it is, because light workers, starseeds, all of us who hold high frequencies are so strong in our energetic power, and like more and more each day, which is like that energy is like, and it's like, and it's and through the connections that we're having through Soul Tribe, it's strengthening that grid. And then the other download was how powerful we are. We're even more powerful now, right now, in this moment or in this phase, in the astral cleaning up than we ever have been. And that our strength, it's really weird, that our strength is actually in the astral realm, not in the physical for now, because that's where the potency of the power needs to be in what. And I'm speaking for myself, and that was just literally a pull download that came through about 30 minutes ago.
Interesting, because the last 2 nights I've had this experience where whatever astral dream state I'm in, I'm feeling like I'm working with thousands and thousands of souls. And because all, you know, my number work and doing readings and stuff, I've just got these terms swimming around in my consciousness. All night I'm getting this, you're aligning life paths, you're aligning thousands of life paths. They're all aligning to their true mission. They're all coming in. And it's like this, like you're one of the vessels that are actually pulling magnetically in people with their soul to their purpose.
Oof, it's sending chills through me.
Right? Yesterday morning I woke up, and when I first woke up, I was really exhausted, right? Because I just felt like this went on all night.
All night, yep.
Hours and hours. And I kind of went, oh my God, that was a lot of work. And then within an hour, once I got up, got moving, got out under the sun, I was good again. I was great. Like, had my energy. I was all good, you know. Took some deep breaths, got out under the sun. The sun's so important. It feels the sunlight streaming in is just bringing so much energy to like really prop us up while there's so much happening. But yeah, so same for me. And it's all being done on that astral level. And it's almost like more work's being done there than down in the physical.
Yeah. One of the things that's been coming to me all year, and I have posted this multiple times, but the term, like, this is a multi-dimensional cleanup. 2020 is a multi-dimensional cleanup. So there's those that are in the physical realm, in the 3D, that are like, some of them risking their lives and doing this epic work, which I like bow, you know, and take my hat off and give so much heart space, love those people. And then there's the people like us that are, some days feel like we're literally in the trenches, but in dream space and energetically, and it's like on all different levels. Where actually I just want to make mention, I shared an Amanda Lawrence video a couple of hours ago on, and she was talking, it'll be, when are we recording? Is Thursday 27th, and she posted up, and I resonated like 100,000% with what she was saying. And just briefly, she was saying, she was this analogy about the train, and the train's like going to New Earth 5D, and in December, and I'm getting a lot of references to last December, in December, that there was a group that made the decision to get off the train. That officially happened in March. And I was like, oh yes, that decided to get off and go back into 4D to help the unawakened souls. And she was talking about the different like groups and how we're all working towards the same goal and no one gets left behind. I love her messages. I do resonate. And I was like, yes, because it was March that I was like, I've literally jumped onto some epic, like, I don't know what to call it, timeline. And that was kind of the beginning of like, when I kept getting, you need to bridge the gap between us, you know, ascension and disclosure. And then, yeah, there was a lot of clicking into place. But anyway, I just wanted to share that.
Again, you're reminding me of a dream I had late last year, I think it was. I'm at a train station, a platform, and there's 3 trains. One train, right, was like train number 1, train number 2, and train number 3, and you had to choose which one you wanted to get on. And it was known in that dream, there was a knowing, right? Train 1 is going to be, it's going to go and do a loop, and you're going to come back to where you started, all right? Train 2 was, you're going to go on that and you're going to learn some things that you're going to be able to prepare you to hop on train 3. And then train 3 was a guarantee. This train is going in a direction and it's never coming back.
Is that the 5D Express?
Right. Like, and from memory, yeah, it was platform 3, 4, and 5. And it was like, if you hop on train 5, know that you're never coming back to where you have left.
Yeah.
This one's going into eternity, sort of thing. It was a beautiful dream, and I remember trying to explain it to someone, and they were like, "Yeah, I kind of get it." But yeah, so again, like parallels with that. But so after we spoke last time, I had one of my very first experiences of a full attack, right? So I got the kickback, and probably because I voiced it with you and we talked about how you can get kickback, and when knowing at the moment, words are manifesting very quickly into things, thoughts are turning into things very instantly. Yeah. So what actually happened was I'd shared some disclosure, blah, 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 and I had someone who had not engaged with me in a very long time. Never really commented on my stuff, but apparently had been watching everything I'd been posting. And then all of a sudden came out of the blue and just went bam. And I was like, whoa, right. Okay. So here's my experience today, and what I'd love to extend on from what you were talking about love, compassion, and looking at the reflections of people within yourself, right? What I love about disclosure is it's an opportunity in every moment for growth.
Yes.
Right? Because you're going to get these different reactions at different levels of intensity. And every time you get a reaction, you've got a choice to go, right, how am I going to respond? Right? Which brings us back to our fundamental learning, our self-development learning of learning how to respond rather than react. Yeah? Yeah. And so it just brought up this thing for me. I'm like, oh, well, these experiences, they're all perfect because they're actually refining and honing how well we're learning to move into a state of love, compassion, and understanding, regardless of the detail of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, so here's some of the process that I went through, right? So it took me about 12 hours. When it first happened, I was in shock. I was like, whoa, that came out of nowhere, simply because this person had not spoken to me in over a year. And all the great interactions we'd had previously were just beautiful, 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 beautiful connection and all that stuff. And it just came out of nowhere, and it just went bam. And I went, right, okay, what am I feeling? And I went, okay, tune into your body. Oh, that's called shock. Right. Yeah. Breathe. What's this? Oh, fight or flight. Do I want to stay and fight, or do I want to run? Right. So it brings up all these beautiful examples of what we get through sharing things that people might find divisive or find as a challenge, because it's challenging beliefs and structures and all that and reality. Okay, so I'm like, okay, fight or flight. And I'm like, right, tapping into this one, my immediate feeling is to fly. But let me not do that. Let me sit with it and let me work with it as information within me, to have me be able to look at him as a reflection of anything within myself that I'm not wanting to react to, because I want to work with that so I can find a level of understanding here, right? So I went, okay, I'm not going to block and delete. And I sat with it and I went, okay, am I feeling threatened? No, I'm feeling pretty good, actually. I'm feeling good about what I shared. I'm backing it. I'm very at peace with it. Okay, where's the resistance coming from? Is it mine? And in that particular instance, because there's different levels of that. The week before, I had someone who was questioning me quite intensely, and I had to work with that. But they weren't attacking. They were going, all right, I don't agree with you. I'm not happy with what you're sharing because I think it's wrong. But let's have an open discussion. And I'm like, yeah, that's how we all unify, come together. We don't have to agree. But on this occasion, it was a full-on attack. And I went, okay, that's where that person's at. let me make the most loving decision for them I can do in this moment. And when I realized that actually that was an offload of stuff that they were carrying, I went, the most loving thing I can do in this moment is let them be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so wise. Yeah.
Well, it's actually, yeah, but it's so simple, really. It's not, it's getting to know yourself and using the emotions that come up and as information and go, right, I get a choice what I'm going to do with it,
Yes.
And as a reflection of me, I remember when I used to offload my emotion on people and project my stuff out onto them. What I needed in that moment was I needed people to stop throwing me ropes because I needed to sort myself out, I needed to wake up to myself. So that was my gift to him in that moment. I did end up blocking and deleting the next day because I sat with it and I went, is this loving? Am I doing this lovingly? Or am I doing this because I'm trying to fly, like run away because I can't cope with it? And I'm like, no, I want to build my emotional resilience here and disclosure and everything that's happening on the planet. This is teaching us how to deal with this polarization and division between us. And what's the end result? What do we ultimately want? We want unification.
Yeah.
And if we're just constantly cutting people off because they don't agree with us, or they present us with something that's difficult, well, we're not really going to find that unification, are we?
No.
So that sort of brought me to what I wanted to share with you today is like, what are the things you can go through as we go through this divisive time, because it has ramped up.
And I'm so glad we're talking about this. So prevalent. I've had so many conversations in the last week about people, exactly the scenario. I've heard this time and time again. It's always the people you haven't heard from in a while, and they'll just lash and attack through a message and just verbal dump whatever. And I've heard this from so many people. So I think it's a great topic and great to talk about. And I love what you said about sitting with it. Like, first of all, like identifying within yourself what's happening, what's it bringing up, where is opportunity for growth, all that. And then the responding in the way of like, what is the most loving thing to do for that person and yourself in that moment? Because there is no right or wrong. It's going to be different each individual person, each individual time.
And I want to pick you up on what you're saying about there is no right or wrong. And I've been going through this week is starting to meld and understand that all emotions are different frequencies, but actually ultimately it all comes together. And my big revelation this week has been not to make what we call negative emotion wrong.
Yes.
Awesome information you can work with, right? Anger, fear, sadness, resistance, okay? And what happened to me as I went and started navigating some other people that were really starting to want to intensely question me, I could tap into the energy. Okay, watch what comes up. Have I got a need to defend myself, right? This is what disclosure will bring up, or if there's division, they're going, oh yeah, don't agree with you, right? And you're going, right, am I needing to defend anything? Because, when you've worked with your own ego state and you realize the true essence of the true nature of what you really are, there's nothing to defend.
Yeah.
It's an illusion that doesn't really exist, like your reputation, right? You can't take your reputation home with you. Right? And if can you imagine if we did live, right, and then let's say 100 people or 1,000 people come on and listen to this, what are we going to do? Say, oh, did you guys like it? Did you love it? Right? And they all go, no, I didn't like it. What, are we going to take that away and then destroy ourselves over it because their opinions are who we are? No, it's not who we are. And a reputation is actually an illusion because it's just defending something that doesn't exist, which is that ego state of mind, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, so all the emotions, right, as they come up, when you drop the need to judge the emotion you're feeling, it always leads to one place, and that's compassion. You answered it so beautifully with Jen and Anna and the other day when they said, what's compassion to you, Alisha? And you went, I think it's actually just a level of understanding. It's a level of awareness, right? So all those emotions that come up, you know, anger, fear, rage, love, care, nurturing, peace, all that stuff, whatever it is, not judging the good ones any more powerful than the bad ones, or the bad ones any more powerful than the good ones. They're all one. You end up at the 0 point. You end up at that 0 point again. And when you get in the 0 point, you suddenly realize, it's beautiful. It's actually just energy to work with. You know, it's just information. It's telling me what I'm co-creating with right now. And you actually start to get into a space where you can't help it, but you love everyone.
Yes. Lockie and I were talking about that last night, or it was played last night in a video that we did together. We were talking about that, you know, that love just for every single thing.
Yeah. And it's not bypassing or being so imbalanced or out of your body spiritual, and not honoring that, you know, people are carrying pain and suffering and all this stuff that they're experiencing. It's actually loving them enough to recognize and see them where they are, and have them feel safe, that they've come into your space. And even though they're going, okay, projection of the stuff that they've been triggered by, be it disclosure or whatever, they've come to you, and you can hold a space that's so warm and cuddly for them, right? That they know they're not going to be judged for their pain, and that you are then not reacting to the pain, but you're reacting to the potential of what that can do for them. And it sort of gives you that natural discernment to go, right, how do I respond? You know, some people you need to respond in a much more intense tone. Other people need a lot of love and a lot of, you know, softness.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
But sometimes people need a really big, like, yeah, okay, I'll meet you where you're at. You want to go hard at me? Yeah, let's go hard. But I'm going to do it in such a loving way that I'm actually love bombing you.
Right. I was about to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say, you kind of got to meet people where they're at. You got to mirror their energy and their tone and their vibration, ultimately.
Yeah. And what I've been noticing, it always leads back to ourselves. So all this divisiveness that we're seeing out in the world, you know, and it's like when people look at politicians, we talk Democrat, Republican, we talk Labor, Liberal, we talk red, blue, right? It becomes irrelevant when you get into that space and you say, you know what? If all of them are a piece of me, and they're all reflecting something in the collective that is within me, then let me discover what it is within me that needs to transform. And then you start to vibrate that out, and naturally division dissipates. And it's not magic. It's not well, it is alchemy, but
It is. Yeah. It's a form
within yourself before you've engaged back outwardly, you know? And so these experiences become such great growth opportunities within yourself to solidify that foundation that people can land upon within us. And then we become that stronger grid, because we're really anchoring. And I think we said episode 2 about anchoring. There's this anchoring of the grid and the light. They know that they've got something they can hold on to that's very stable.
Yeah, that's important. That is important. The stabilizing.
Yeah. And so just some of the things that come to mind. The need to defend oneself comes up, which is really cool, because then you get to go, how much ego am I still carrying? What am I defending here? So that was one. The other thing I went through is, am I feeling threatened, right? If I'm feeling threatened, you know, what is it within me I haven't healed that makes me feel under threat? You know, and again, what am I trying to defend or protect?
Yes.
You know? Have I opened my heart enough that that I'm at the point where I realize there's nothing to protect. My job is to love. myself enough so that I can love them enough. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then you respond, and then working with the ouch factor, the immediate ouch factor, like, oh my God, oh God, that hurt.
Yeah, like I was like,
I thought you were a friend and you just attacked me. Like, oh my God. Ugh. It's like a punch to the solar plexus, right?
mm-hmm.
And that's what happens to you. You get this comment and you read this stuff, and then you bang, your solar plexus fires up. It's like, whoa, okay, now let it swim, let it move. Okay, breathe it in. Right. Let me work with that. Okay. If that hurt, why did it hurt? And just again, working within yourself before you respond. And then, is it mine? We talked about that.
Can I just add, just want to add a different dimensional layer to that?
Yeah.
Talking about like unseen, I'm going to go on a little tangent, bear with me. That ouch factor, instantly I had like this recall of this thing that has happened repeatedly. It's not just a one-off, but I've had someone attack me like through a message, and instantly I've had this feeling come over me. And it's like an energy, a really aggressive energy smacked me. Now it's happened a number of times that I've taken notice. Each time that has happened, I have then found out later that there was like, let's say, not a lovely influence energy that wasn't of their nature. It was an external influence that was working through them. So I just wanted to, anyway, keep going. I don't want to get you off track, but just to add a different layer to.
Yeah, and well, I said under, is it mine? Is it mine? Is it theirs, or is it coming from the collective? Right.
Yes.
We're all really vulnerable, raw vessels for the collective energy right now.
Yeah.
It's the dream state stuff and the astral stuff. So, is it actually that they're a vessel for something more collective that's coming? And then we also know that as we work within ourselves, the idea being that anything I change within myself in that moment, I am changing for the entire all that is,
Yes.
And because we're all interconnected, anything I heal within myself truly is, to use the Gandhi cliche, things you want to see, every single finest tiny level you heal within yourself, you're healing something in the collective or in some other person. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And is it the dog?
And we're back. Sorry about that. Little intermission, doggy intermission.
I think you do this every interview. You're like, and we're back. Yes, hands.
It wasn't Luna this time. It was Ari.
That's so funny. Ari, 199, just saying.
Oh, okay. Wow, your mind.
I know. 199 equals 19, 10, 1, all that. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. I've actually got a little bit of numbers coming.
Yay. Love it.
Again, that happened 5 minutes before we called.
Oh.
So, and then the last one that came up within me in this experience is I went, right, boundary setting, right? Healthy, loving boundary setting, yes. Right? I'm like, this is my beautiful lesson in this moment. I'm being reflected back to me, right? An opportunity to ask the question, Donovan, where do you draw the line?
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like we all have boundaries that are unique to us, and we all have probably who knows, infinite different frequencies of where we draw the line. Yeah?
I spoke about this with Todd Medina last week sometime, I think it was, and I was saying how there's this real raw, like, being an empath, you kind of people please on that. And at the moment, I'm take no nonsense. And then like this morning, I was completely in a whole, I don't give an F. I'm just gonna F shit up. And then I had to kind of come back to neutrality. I was like, whoa, Alisha, you've gone you know, but there is that vibe in the air. Do you know what I mean? There's that uprising. I don't care anymore. I'm going to be me. I'm going to speak my truth. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
And again, to like marry that up, what we're saying about collective energy, and we mentioned it last time about borders and country borders, right? Boundaries, borders.
Yeah.
Right. So things are changing and things are going to change. We know in a really big way. And it's like, we also know that over time during our journey, our whole journey, our soul evolution, many lifetimes, and then in this lifetime, and then according to collective energy weather, right? Our boundaries from day to day, moment to moment, they will change, you know? And if we're
100%.
really rigid with our boundaries, then we're going to get in situations where we're going to feel so much resistance if we set boundaries and they're immovable.
Yeah.
You know, like, because an immovable boundary says, this is the way it is and I refuse to budge, you know? And is that really a state of allowance or is it a state of resistance, you know? But what came up in me on that day, I'm like, on this day, in this moment, I feel really, really very, very balanced and at peace with the fact that actually this person's crossed the line.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, for the first time in my life, I'm going to delete and block that person, because I realize if I engage with them where they're at right now, it's just going to be a burning and a draining of energy. And that's not serving me, nor is it serving them.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because for the first time ever in my entire life this year, I used the block button. So, yeah.
Yeah. And it is there for a reason, and it's all energetic, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Transference, co-creation, it's all mixing in together. And it's like, yeah, we've got to know who we are and where we stand.
Yeah, and I think also, like, just to throw it in there, but such a key important thing that maybe gets overlooked is the energetic boundaries of, like, when you, as you become, I'm going to quote Anna, and I'm going to quote her badly, but she had this download about, a beautiful download about how the more you become connected to oneness, the more sensitive and refined you become, right? So the deeper you go into that space of one with the whole, you become connected to the whole, therefore you become more energy sensitive, right? And we can feel people's intentions, their energy, all those things through a message, or not even. Sometimes you don't even have to interact on a physical level. You can feel. So anyway, just throw that out there. Sorry.
That's so beautifully true. And that's the experience I've been having recently is I'm tapping energy in a way that's blowing my mind, like, and synchronicity has increased at such a rapid rate. It is insane. I'm getting more good divine synchrony experiences than, well, it's not good, but ones where I've tapped into someone, I'm like, there's a problem they're having there, and I can feel it.
Yeah.
It's very palpable, and yeah, because the veil's so thin, right? Of course. So it makes sense. So they're just some of the processes that I've been through in having that beautiful gift of being attacked, right? And I love to like look at a situation and say, okay, how can I grow? How can I respond in the best possible way? And the more you practice this and do this, as we navigate this huge shift of humanity, the more you end up in that space of unification within yourself, and therefore you being part of the all, that's doing the unification for us all, you know. And that's how powerful we are. That's how important we are right now, you know. And all I want to, like, I feel so happy to be able to really bring this message forward to people who say, if you are willing to do that work, the message that I've been getting right now through my meditations is, if you guys are mastering yourselves at this time, imagine how you're going to be operating as masters in the time to come.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even, like,
such a training, like the most fertile training ground you could ever have in self-mastery. Yeah.
like we're in a university PhD of self-mastery right now, you know,
Mm-hmm.
should you choose it?
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
You know, because everyone gets to choose, you know, what they want to do. So, yeah, so that's been interesting. But then, so I did the numbers.
Yes, numbers. Let's bring the numbers.
This will give you a little opening, because I know you get a lot of information from your downloads. But I just quickly did something. Okay, so we know that there's a very pivot point coming up, and that's the election, the 3rd of November, right?
Yeah. And did you see that article going around about the asteroid that may collide with Earth the day before the election?
I didn't, but I have heard that before, yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to interrupt. Keep going. Sorry.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
It's not, by the way, just if anyone took me seriously. I mean, it's a real thing, but the probability of it colliding is very unlikely.
It'll just be a camellia flower, don't worry. We'll be bringing a message of love. Anyway, so but I've read quite a few articles about comets and some of that stuff coming in, which is haven't been following a lot of that recently. But what occurred to me, so the 3rd of November is the election, right? So the counts are coming in, right? There's all this stuff about the voting system, the mail-in voting, the blockchain voting, voter ID stuff that should hopefully be coming in.
Yeah, I only just heard about that stuff, but yeah, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing is, mail-in voting can be easily tampered with, and it can be fraudulent, and it's proven to be, and, certain people want to make sure that it's a fair, open, transparent election, fair call. So we're going to be using blockchain technology that will enable voter ID, which means, it can't be messed with, which I think is one of the new creations of the greatest things that the US will have, because US is the only country that doesn't have voter ID, or one of the only countries that doesn't have voter ID. It's kind of, you guys are really behind on that, And it's we can see how easily that could be tampered with. But getting back to the elections on the 3rd of November, okay? And then in our disclosure circles, what we believe is going to happen is on the 4th of November, there's going to be some kind of backlash from the deep state, take down the power grid, okay?
Oh, okay.
So that's
me. I've been out of the loop for a week or so.
Right. So there's been a lot of talk about that in the Q drops, right? And then that there'll be some sort of power grid takedown or internet takedown on the 4th of the 11th, which is the day after.
Yeah.
Okay? And that in fact, that's when they're going to be using an emergency broadcast system to put out a whole lot of information about, okay, guys, here's what's really been going on, right? And expose a lot of truth. That is one belief that is out there. I'm just bringing the information, that's all. Just bringing the information. That's
one potentiality, yeah.
One timeline potential that could happen. Now, what occurred to me, I'm like, what's the next really powerful date? And that would be 11/11, right? And as we always know, every year, 11/11 holds a very, very powerful energy, 11 being illumination and awakening, right? And it suddenly occurred to me, so I wrote down 11/11/2020, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, 11/11 equals 4, 2020 equals 4. We got the double 4 that we spoke about last time. Stepping forward of the Emperor card, the Emperor energy, setting solid foundations for a new future, practical, logical, and honest and hardworking. So all culminated within the epic code of 11/11/2020, we get that double 4 energy, and you add 2 4s together, you get 8. So you get the stepping forward of the entrepreneur. So
I have to say I've been getting 848 code for the last couple of days.
Right. There you go. I mean, that's right. So that, to me, that's a confirmation code of the 11/11/2020 date. And and the 8 steps forward, which is the entrepreneur, success, right? It's about financials. Yeah. 8 is about money. Okay. So everything that we've been talking about in disclosure, you know, a financial reset, someone leading who's actually got the experience in being an entrepreneur and a leader. Yeah. And then
I'm getting excited now.
yeah. So 11, 11, 20, 20, which makes 2 4s, right? We get the 44 energy coming at us, bit of angelic frequency supporting this. And then bang, we hit the 8, the perfect infinite balance, turn it on its side, got that infinite balance on that day. And then 8 is success, right? So for me, and then what happened is I actually wrote this down literally 1 minute before I called you or you called me. It reminded me of the other dream that I didn't speak about in our last episode. And I said, I'll talk about that dream another time. I thought I'd forget about it. Once I saw that, it reminded me of that dream. And basically what it was, I was in the dream and Trump came and he came next to me and he was walking me up this grassy knoll and there was a landing pad of grass there. And he turned to me and I said, what's this? And I could see like military aircraft and stuff around. Maybe I did mention it. I can't remember.
No, you've told me bits of it.
Right. And he said, it's the landing pad.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I was like, oh, is that like extraterrestrial landing pad, you know, for UFOs? And is this disclosure of, you know, secret space programs and UFOs and the truth coming out about that? And it felt like there was 2 energies to it. It was that, but something else. And I've only just realized that by seeing these numbers, he was showing me that the day of the landing pad is 11/11. Because I hadn't decoded that dream until now. And it's like, that's when it lands, because the landing pad, the platform, is the 4 energy. And you know, from last time, he's got the double 4 energy.
Yeah.
Got that emperor energy, and then you bring it together, we get the 8, bang, success, financial reset, solid foundation. It lands. All the work, the whole plan, it lands. So I don't know tell me how you feel about the upcoming 11/11 energy and what you get.
Interesting because I've been tuning into that maybe in the last couple of days. I've been getting, you know how you kind of get reference points and then you get like a little bit of a look into a potential timeline and you get taken to that. And that's what I've been looking at is 11/11 for other reasons. You know, looking at like I'm starting a program and I was told that it has to end on 11/11. So the momentum of the energy that's built through the program and the participants is from. So get this, right? This was the thing that I got, because I had been waiting for a date, and finally the date has come, and I was shown finishing on 11/11, which is a Wednesday, and the program has to run 6 weeks. So I counted back. So 6 weeks literally is the week after equinox, and I was like, So we've got equinox, which is always a bit of a powerhouse, like September equinox, and then we've got 11/11. So that's kind of where I've been honing in for various different reasons. But the financial reset has been in my consciousness quite a bit. I know that we're probably going to do a whole segment or episode based around talking about that. So that's very fascinating. That is very, very fascinating.
Interesting, isn't it? And hey, watch this space. Let's, you know, because more information comes as we go. And
Correct.
it's, you know, a month at the moment feels like a year anyway.
Totally.
And the other thing that just occurred to me as I was feeling into 11/11 also is 22. And 22 is the master builder, right? 22 makes 4. So it all just comes together so beautifully, numerically. I just, and the codes that people have been getting with their repeating number sequences have been confirming so much to me. I'm getting people coming to me with experiences that are lining up with things in their life and where they're at in their path that are just absolutely blowing my mind, you know. And it's like everyone is my greatest teacher, because they come and they go, okay, I've got this 222. I'm like, where were you at? Oh, I was making a decision about taking up a course. Right. Two of Pentacles. Right. You're weighing things up. You're making decisions, right? Oh, but I went to this hotel room and the only number left was room 222. And I just felt like I needed to get away and spend time by myself, right? 2 being the introverted, quiet, intuitive number. Right. So you go into 222, you come out and you're like, oh my God, I've made my decision. I know what to bring forward now, you know? And it's just like, the guidance that numbers are bringing to people, it's at a rate I've never, I've never experienced. Like,
I agree, 100% agree. I'm currently in a like a 6 theme. So for me, it's all about like balanced family, home, that kind of thing. And because 606 has been like a lot. But I remember like when we were chatting maybe a month or 2 ago, and it was the 2s everywhere, but it wasn't even like triple or quadruple. I was seeing like 5, 6, 7, so it's interesting how you go in different phases, different numbers, and the vibration kind of. It's Luna this time. 1 second.
That's right. Moon Dog's turn.
Take 3, we're back. Sorry.
Hey, you didn't do jazz hands. Got to do jazz hands. We're back.
Oh dear.
You guys said let's dance. All right. So, here's what the other thing I've been noticing, so magical, and I love this. Right, as I speak to people from all around the world, I'm starting to notice codes and patterns of soul groups getting the same frequencies of repeating number sequences, and they're going through a very similar thing in their life right now. And then another group of souls that are going through something different, but they're going through a similar thing, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool, like this collective vibrational energy that will come through a particular number code, like the 222 people right now. They're dealing about relationships. They're dealing with issues about making choices, about they're weighing things up. What do I do, this or do that, right? And then I'm getting people coming forward with the 6s, right? And it's like they're birthing a new idea, or they're working on becoming a new version of themselves, right? Which is the 6. Or they're having family issues. They're dealing with like serious family issues, healing relationships with mum, dad, sister, brother, and then I'll get people going, I'm getting absolutely smashed right now with the 8s, and they're going through financial trouble, and they're going through issues of power and control, but these are in groups of people.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome to watch, because it's like you sit at the center of this and you're like, wow, I really see how soul groups actually work together, and how the divine guidance is always interacting with individuals, but groups of souls at the same time. It's so, oh my God, it's so awesome. It's so amazing. Yeah.
That is...
So
that's cool. Just got sorry, that's just taken me off on so many tangents. I'm like, well, I'm gonna keep it back. That's amazing. It's what an amazing observation, and I have no doubt there's so much more that will come through that.
Yeah, look, numbers are a beautiful playground, and if you want to play in them, they'll play with you.
Which, by the way, if you haven't connected or worked with Donovan does amazing numerology, number vibration kind of work. So hit him up and connect with him, book a session if you feel that numbers are talking and calling to you. Like, do yourself a favor.
Thank you. Actually, it's interesting, because a lot of the readings recently, it's not the you know, the standard numerology, life path, destiny, expression number, or anything like that. A lot of the readings I do end up spending more time decoding the codes they've been getting,
Yes.
repeating number sequences, than just doing
Then,
standard
yeah,
numeric, right?
like the evolved version of
It's
numerology that you're, yeah.
absolutely, because it's already evolving, and the frequency of what we're shifting, people's experience of that is like, yeah, we can do the standard numerology stuff, but people are already at a level where they're like, yeah, that's all great. Okay, I'm a life path 1. That's all great. I can look at that later, you know, when I've got time, but everything's moving so fast. I need to know what my 222 code is, you know?
You're like a number therapist. That's going to be one of your titles.
I truly feel like that. I really do. And it's an honor. It is such an honor to have developed an ability to vibrationally and energetically feel into these codes. And then I just find, if I trust what I get from each person, I reflect it back to them through me, not from me, right? And it hits the mark I swear, it hits the mark every time, you know? It's just, oh, it's wonderful. Wonderful. So thank you for the plug. And so, yeah, I'm not doing any big readings at the moment, but certainly if anyone wants to connect and just, you know, tell me what they're experiencing, I love co-creating on that level. And what's mostly happening is I'm having conversations, right, about what's going on in their life and how they're navigating. And what it'll end up is, you know, I'll end up doing a bit of life path and stuff anyway, and then they end up in just giving a donation. I'm like, great, that's perfect, whatever. You know, nice, free, easy, nothing too structured. Yeah?
Yes. No, we don't like structure.
Awesome.
Neither of us like structure.
Yeah.
Is there anything else before, like, I'm conscious of time, and thank you everyone for watching, by the way. Big shout out to everyone. But I do want to say that, and sort of open it up for next time, because I do want to dive down this financial reset structure, whatever you want to call it, with you, because I've had a lot of downloads since we kind of touched on it. You and I were contemplating whether to do that, or obviously it's taken a shift. But I want to kind of put it out to people, is like, what specifically would you like us to cover in regards to the shifting in conscious currency? Oh, that just popped in. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Well, and it's likely, if what we think is going to happen, the new gold-backed currency will be called the rainbow currency.
It's all about the rainbows at the moment.
Yeah. So if the Fed banknote is no longer, the new note that will be gold-backed and printed will be called a rainbow. I forget what they call it. Yeah, rainbow currency note, and it's literally going to have rainbows on it.
Wow.
So see how it's all married up so beautifully with your guidance. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm still I finished the artwork, but I haven't done the audios for the rainbow themed. Yeah, it's all about rain. I got told to hold that off till September, so September's about rainbows, apparently. Let's see.
Perfect. I'll have to decode that one. I can't wait. No, I actually can't wait to talk about finances and the economies and the economic reset, because it's such a great manifestation of what's shifting on every level. You know,
I agree. Yeah.
A great reflection back to us of what's actually where we're at in the transition process. And all you got to do is watch the markets, right? And how they're moving. Crypto. I've been watching crypto. I've been watching, you know, the US dollar, and you're just seeing these patterns, right? And then there's this whole thing about the super V that's happening. You know, before COVID, US economy went down here, and then it's come right back up to where it was, and it's still building. And, you know, a certain someone is making this sign these days, and it's like V for victory, but a V in economics actually, you know, is something that happens when there's a massive change, and, you know, things are going to shift forever.
Interesting. Oh, we're going to, oh, yeah,
And
cool.
often after a war, right? We get that V in the economic system. We see that V happen, the drop, you know, the Great Depression, and then up again. So we've got that V. And funnily enough, V equals 4 in numerology, just saying.
Just saying, all the fours.
Just saying.
Oh, wonderful. I so look forward to that. So yeah, just drop us a comment if there's something specific that you would like us to cover, if we can. Of course, we don't know everything. We're just pondering on different concepts and ideas and things that we, you know, feel into, I guess. But Donovan, like, just thank you so much once again for being here and sharing this conversation. It's been absolutely breathtakingly amazing. So thank you.
I am so grateful, really. And just to everyone out there, I just want to say, listen to your hearts. Know that you are doing great. You know, we're in the biggest shift of reality that's ever been. Love yourself enough to know that you're going to get through this. We're with you. We're all in this together. And you know, no matter how hard it gets, just reach out. We're here for you. We love you. And, you know, just listen to your intuition and be guided by it, because that's what we do. You know, when we're no greater than you, you guys are all as amazing as us.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, namaste. I love you all. And thank you, Alisha. Really appreciate
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching. Until next round, super excited. Mwah. Massive love. And just to reiterate everything Donovan said, we are all in this together. So until next time, sending great love. Bye.
Bye, everyone.